Hi everyone, this is Erica Sabo. Welcome to another episode of My Bit. So today I am wrapping up my top 10 JRPGs on the PlayStation 1. I am super stoked to show you 5 of my most favorite games. I talked about some really awesome games before too. If you haven't checked out that video, I'll post it somewhere here. And yeah, so let's get right to it. Number 5 on my list goes out to Vagrant Story. Vagrant Story is intense. If there's one thing people will tell you about this game is that it is intense, and I really wish that it got more love than it did. Of course it did make it to greatest hits status, which is really awesome, but it had a very intimidating battle system to it. Very, very intimidating, and there was a lot of grinding and a lot of menus and a lot of thought that you need to put into the game in order to get through it. It was very much kind of like a dungeon crawler on top of being a turn-based JRPG. And it was just really cool. It had a really cool style to it, a really cool like art style, but it just had a really cool story and premise and feel to it as well. Unfortunately, there was a lot of financial problems with the game, so there were budget cuts, and while the story was really great, kind of piddled out towards the end, which is really unfortunate because I don't think that we're ever going to get a re-release, like a full like director's cut of this game. But I think that for what it was amazing. It was extremely ambitious game for its time, and it's definitely one worth checking out if you're looking for something like that. Number 4 on my list goes to Final Fantasy Tactics. Yes, this is why this one wasn't on my top PlayStation Portable one. I don't know why I keep saying PlayStation Portable. PSP. This is the reason, is because the PlayStation 1 version is the best version of all. I know a few of you were like, what the hell? That one was so good. It's like, yeah, but it wasn't the original. It wasn't the original. And I did not put 200 plus hours into the PSP version. I put 200 plus hours on this version. This is a damn hard game. This is a very hard game. It had a very, like, it's weird because I had a huge spike right at the beginning. Middle was really hard, but then by the time you got to the end, it wasn't very hard anymore. And the final boss is infamous for being extremely easy. But you know, even so, there's a lot of really, really cool little side quests you could do in it too, and you could get Cloud, even though I will tell you right now, it's kind of pointless. He's only good to have just to have. He's not actually that impressive, and he takes a lot of work to get, so keep that in mind. Regardless though, the job system was so intense, and by far my favorite job system to date in any game, and it's just amazing. It is such a hard game, and it is such a good challenge though. I need a good challenge, and this is definitely one of them. It also had a really intricate story to it. It didn't always make sense, but it was a really good drama piece, and it was pretty intense a couple times. We're just like, oh my god, I can't believe that's happening, and some really difficult boss battles on top of that as well. So yeah, I definitely recommend this. If you like strategy RPGs, then I definitely recommend it. Some people might not say that this is a JRPG. I think that strategy JRPGs are part of the JRPG family. That's why I've put it here. So if you don't agree, that's cool, you know, whatever. But it's definitely on mine. So yeah, definitely check it out. Number 3 in my top JRPGs on the PlayStation 1 goes out to Chrono Cross. Oh my god, I love this game so much, and this is why it's number 3, is because it's just such a great game. I know a lot of you would say, Chrono Trigger is way better, but Chrono Trigger came out on the Super Nintendo. We're not comparing the two right now. We're talking about JRPGs on the PlayStation 1, and this is an awesome one. It had a beautiful world, I swear. The graphics in this game and just the sheer amount of color was amazing. It's a really, really big game. There's a lot of different characters you can end up getting on your team. It had a really fun spin on the turn-based battle system where it used colors, and it's just really cool. Really awesome. And what's also really cool about it is that when you beat it, then you can do New Game Plus, and it's still just as much fun to play, and it has so much replay value to it. I'm not going to spoil anything, but it makes a really, it it uses a clever way of making you want to play it over again. It really speeds things up, let's say that. So it's an amazing game. I thought it had a really, really great story to it. Nice little spin, a nice little change of pace, very refreshing, and very fun too. So this one I highly recommend if you haven't tried it out yet. Number 2 on my list goes out to Xenogears. This one was a really difficult choice. I originally wanted to put it as my number 1, but it does have its faults, unfortunately. Let's talk about the good things first, though. So this game has a pretty dark story to it as well, but has just like a very different feel to it right from the get-go. It doesn't feel like your conventional JRPG, and its story follows suit. Its story is really like almost philosophical. It's beautiful when you think about it. It's very intricate, and the characters are the same way too. They're almost poetic. It's so weird. They're almost poetic. I love it. I love this game so much, and I put so many hours into it. So many hours. I like the mech battles too. I like the battle system in general. I had a really cool like combo system to it, and yeah, it's beautiful. I'm actually really hoping that the new X game that's going to be coming out on the Wii U, I'm really hoping it's going to be a branch off for Xenogears, because as you can see the red X right there, it shows it in the trailer, the teaser at the very end, and so it kind of hints at that, I feel. But I mean, we also have, you know, Xenoblade Chronicles, and we have the whole Xenosaga series as well, which is part of this whole giant story that was never completed. So I don't know, who knows, right? But there are mechs. So I mean, they're you know, there could be gears. These could be the gears that we've been waiting for, right? But this is a really, really great game. Amazing story that just transcends time in several ways. So the one problem is that, just like Vagrant's story, it had budget cuts. So this is, yeah, second disc. A little on the rough side, unfortunately. They just did not have enough money. They had to rush things. The pacing was really bad on the second disc, considering what an ambitious title it was. And like I said, they're probably not going to do a director's cut of this one either, but it is a beautiful game, and if you can appreciate it despite its faults, it is definitely worth the journey. Please give it a shot. And the moment you've been waiting for, my number 1 JRPG on the PlayStation 1 goes out to Final Fantasy IX. Now, Final Fantasy IX for me is basically the epitome of the series. It is fantasy to the core. It is whimsical. It's humorous. It's addicting as hell. It has a very fun ability system, really fun battle system. Nowadays when you play it is a bit on the slow side, just like any of the PlayStation 1 era Final Fantasies, or any older Final Fantasies for that matter. But it had a very likable cast of characters. I love Garnet, I swear. Garnet Dagger. She's like one of my favorite female characters of all time, and I'm sure I'll do a list of female video game characters in the future, speaking of that. So I also really loved Vivi, and I loved Zidane, and they're great. I didn't like Amaranth. I didn't like him. He was like a tacked on guy, but whatever. I don't care. This was a great game, and I love the story. I just loved how timeless it was, and for me, like I said, it's the epitome of the Final Fantasy series. So love it or hate it, I love it, and that's why this is my number 1. Definitely give it a shot if you haven't, and if you have and you didn't like it, give it another shot. Maybe give it another go, and you might be pleasantly surprised. Now I promised some honorable mentions because there were a lot of games I didn't get to talk about, so I'm just going to throw out some names there. I want to give a big shout out to games like Parasite Eve, Brave Fencer Musashi. You could say the Grandia series is amazing. Let's see. Oh, this is so hard. There's a lot of games I also didn't play that I wish I could have. I also want to say like Wild Arms was really great too. So far, I know Breath of Fire 4 has been really good. I was playing a bit of that. Man, what other games? Oh, there are so many. I have Threads of Fate over here. That's a really fun game, although that's more of an action RPG. Saga Frontier is really great. I really liked Saga Frontier 1 and 2. I liked 1 a little bit better. I liked how in the end the stories all kind of connected together. And yeah, holy cow, there's just There's too many games to choose from, so if I missed any, please, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, because I know that there's so many things running around all over my head right now. Like, which ones can I give a shout out to without forgetting, right? But unfortunately, I'm sure I forgot a bunch there, so tell me which games you loved on the PlayStation 1. Tell me which JRPGs you loved. And yeah, hopefully we can connect, we can talk about these games, and I hope you enjoyed. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Like I said, let me know what your picks are. Leave a video response if you want. Do whatever you want. And yeah, please tune in again soon for another video. Alright, peace.